services of the lumberyard to prevail for a long time to come.
Every job site has a deadline. This one has 90 minutes.
Heads up! Heads up!
For these workers, it's a race against the clock to put up the 59th floor of this skyscraper.
Let's go! Let's go!
The key to finishing on time lies within the unstable properties of concrete.
That's the priority. Get the concrete in.
Watch yourself, watch yourself.
From the second water is added to the concrete mix, it's already starting to harden.
Here we go with the stress. Here we go.
If it doesn't make it from the plant to the site, reach the 59th floor, get poured and smoothed out in 90 minutes, it loses its strength, is useless, and a day of work is lost.
Let's go! Come on, Joe, let's go!
On a job site the scale of this one, that's $1.2 million.
It's your worst nightmare.
Come on, go!
The deadline is real. Every second counts. This is Jobsite. New York City, home to 5,800 high-rise buildings and over 50 skyscrapers. The next one being built, the Setai, a luxury five-star hotel boasting rooms upwards of $25,000 a night. But constructing a building like this in a city as busy as New York brings a whole host of problems. The foreman on the site is waiting for his concrete to arrive.
Jerry's not here yet, Patty Mills isn't here yet.
Across the East River in Queens is Nikon, one of the largest suppliers of concrete in the world. They send out over 50 drivers making multiple time-sensitive deliveries every day.
We're trying to get the trucks out of here. No, let me get Derek next and then you.
Derek is one of those drivers.
I talk to myself constantly throughout the day in this truck. I mean, you know, if I had a blood pressure thing hooked up to my arm, I think it would explode.
Today, Derek will drive one of 37 trucks delivering to the Setai. Derek's truck is about to be filled with a mixture of cement and water. The second the two combine, this concrete only has 90 minutes before it hardens and is useless. And that 90 minutes starts now.
Lock and load, baby.
All right, move them out.
But why is 90 minutes such a challenge?
Here we go with the stress. Here we go.
He must get his 48,000 pounds of concrete from Queens to Midtown Manhattan. He'll have to cross the East River, reach the job site, and get the concrete up to the 59th floor. There, it must be poured, smooth, and level, all before time runs out. But within just 1 mile of the plant, Derek runs into a problem.
Yo, I'm still stuck in traffic here, man.
The tunnel's backed up.
Here we are, never-ending saga with traffic.
Due to a traffic jam in the Queens Midtown Tunnel, Derek is forced to elongate his route by taking the Queensboro Bridge. But immediately, he runs into a problem on the bridge, too. More traffic.
This right here is just unacceptable.
Every second Derek waits in traffic, he knows the concrete is hardening. But he does have one thing helping keep it alive. An ancient tool hidden inside the drum of his truck. The Archimedes screw. It's a spiral blade that continuously mixes the concrete down into the drum. When reversed, it's able to unload the concrete, completely emptying the truck in just 3 minutes. Named after its inventor, the Greek mathematician Archimedes, the screw was originally used as a pump in irrigation projects. At the Siege of Syracuse in 264 BC, the inventor of the screw was ironically killed by the inventors of concrete. But even with the help of the Archimedes screw, Derek's concrete only has 64 minutes left.
Yeah, let's go, please. It's only been 4 light changes, so I'm trying to get out of here.
Sorry, waiting on traffic again, all right?
Meanwhile, it's up to one man on the site to oversee multiple crews and prepare for our truck's arrival, the foreman, Billy.
When you come inside the property, I own you. You work for me. Don't answer your phone. Don't smoke your cigarettes. Stop with the water right now. You're just making more of a mess.
Billy's crew is in week 72 of building this 60-story hotel at a cost of $650 million.
Showtime, baby! Showtime!
The 350 workers on this job site are all busy preparing for one moment, the arrival of concrete. The carpenters are securing the 59th floor's framework. Metal workers are scrambling to complete the steel skeleton in time. And the ground crew already has the pump's engine running and ready to go. So the last thing Billy wants to hear is Derek's truck is going to be late.
You can't pour concrete if there's no concrete here.
With 56 minutes left, Derek is finally over the bridge and into Manhattan. But on these busy streets, Derek must be especially cautious behind the wheel of this heavy mixer.
When the truck's loaded, the truck's extremely heavy. I mean, to make this truck stop on a dime, it's pretty much impossible.
When loaded, the truck weighs up to 75,000 pounds and takes a full city block just to bring to a halt.
If I hit the brakes, you know, I need a good 200 feet to stop. You gotta keep your eyes peeled at all times. Whoa! Come on, let's go! Wake up! Pedestrians, they don't even watch the lights pretty much. They just come on out because they feel they have the right of way.
With 49 minutes left before his concrete hardens, Derek arrives at the job site. But there's no time to celebrate. Rounding the corner, he spots a long line of concrete trucks ahead of him, each waiting to unload. Stuck at the back of the line, Derek can do nothing but wait for his turn, unaware of the problem. The pump that pushes the concrete to the top floors is broken.
You got a problem, all right?
Somewhere within its 800 feet of tubing, there's a clog. And this entire job site is at a standstill until it's fixed.
I got no choice. They got trucks in front of me. They have to dump before me. So until it's my turn to dump, I just gotta pretty much just hang out back here.
And in all the commotion on the job site, no one has realized that Derek's concrete is just 44 minutes from hardening.
Right now I'm stuck.
And he's last in line. If it hardens completely, he's worried about more than just wasted concrete. He'll also be forced to chip the concrete out of his truck, backbreaking work that will require him to go inside the drum with a jackhammer for up to 9 hours. It's hot, grueling, and often dangerous. A nightmare for any driver. But for Derek, who has already delivered 2 hardened batches to other sites, there's something bigger on the line. His job.
If the load expires and I get sent away with the load, that makes things bad for me.
Nikon has a 3-strike policy for failed deliveries, and with 2 strikes already on his record, Derek needs this concrete to arrive in good condition if he wants to see another job site. But he's not the only one who's worried. Each driver in line has 48,000 pounds of concrete hardening in the back of his truck, each with its own ticking clock. For Billy, that's 650,000 pounds of concrete, hardening every minute until he can get the pump fixed.
We're probably about 45 minutes to 1 hour behind where we normally would be at this time of the day.
As Derek and the other drivers wait anxiously, trying to keep their concrete alive, Billy has an idea to fix the broken pump. but it's risky. Will the pump be fixed? Can it be done before 650,000 pounds of concrete is useless? Will a day of work be lost?
So if I were you, I would just stay at a safe distance.
It's happening across the country, across our lineup. Nissan's A to Z year-end sales event, celebrating award-winning design, Automobile of the Year, Best Buys, and quality from A to Z. Now get $500 additional bonus cash on Altima and Maxima, plus $199 a month on the new Altima, or 0% financing on Maxima. Event ends January 4th.
Sometimes, the little things in life feel like our biggest enemies. They can be damaged. They can be stolen. Happily, there's the American Express Charge Card. If something you recently bought with the card breaks, it can be repaired, replaced, or your account can be credited. You'll even get membership rewards points with each purchase. And peace of mind when you travel. Can your card say that?
Want to supercharge your high-def TV? You gotta hook it up to DirecTV.
Now get our best price until 2011. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Buy a suit, get 2 free at Joseph A. Bank. Just buy 1 and get 2 suits absolutely free. We're opening early at 7 for this incredible offer. Buy 1, get 2 free. No exceptions. Quite simply, buy 1 suit and get 2 handcrafted suits absolutely free at Joseph A. Bank.
Angelica, juniper, coriander, and still more inconveniently sourced and selected ingredients make Tanqueray a cocktail before it even goes into a cocktail. Tanqueray Gin. Resist simple. Drink responsibly.
Fresh, minty, handsome.
Oh, minty.
Mindy? Beautiful, isn't it?
Breathtaking. Fresh.
For a fresh breath feeling that lasts up to 5 times longer, there's new Scope Outlast.
Hi, I'm Steve Perillo for Perillo Tours. Have you ever traveled to someplace that changed your life? I have. Let me take you back 5,000 years in time to Israel. Perillo's 10-day Israel vacation includes Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Nazareth, Galilee, and so much more. Israel. You'll love it from the first Shalom. Send for your free Israel brochure and also ask for our Italy and Hawaii brochures and DVD. Visit PerilloTours.com or call 1-800-424-3400 now.
January 3rd, the greatest night in culinary history. Iron Chef Battalion Super Chef Lagasse versus Iron Chef Clay and White House Executive Chef Comerford. This time, the secret ingredient is of national importance. Super Chef Battle, January 3rd, 8 p.m.
Brought to you locally by Ford. Check out the best-selling vehicles with the best values in America. No one beats your Tri-State Ford dealer. Ford, drive one home today.
Watch Life After People, beginning January 5th at 10. History is made every day.
On this job site, every second counts. It was a breakneck race against the clock as Derek navigated his 38-ton mixer through heavy rush hour traffic. He started with just 90 minutes to get his batch of concrete to the job site and poured on the 59th floor. Now, he only has 39 minutes left before the concrete hardens and is useless. Despite his quick maneuvering, he's forced to wait behind a long line of concrete trucks, each with its own ticking clock. But even as a frustrated Derek waits, Billy and the rest of the pump crew deal with a bigger problem.
We got a clog in the line somehow.
The pump's broken. A key component to the job, the pump is used to transport concrete to the top of this building. A 650 horsepower engine runs a hydraulic system that pushes and pulls on 2 pistons. The pump puts out 2,100 psi of pumping pressure, enough to push an SUV to the top of this building. The pump easily is able to handle the 1.6 million pounds of concrete used on this site every day. And it gets it from street level to the top of this building in under 3 minutes. But for all the pump's power and speed, this crucial piece of equipment has now brought construction to a standstill.
All jammed up. I got a big problem, so maybe now's not a good time to set this up. So if I were you, I would just stay at a safe distance.
A jam inside the pump has caused the pistons to stop moving, and the instant concrete stops flowing, it begins to harden.
It's panic because that clog has got to get cleared immediately before that concrete hardens up. We have a bigger problem.
Billy and his crew will have to act quickly. With no other alternatives, Billy makes the call to dump out over 10,000 pounds of hardening concrete before it destroys the $500,000 pump. But because they weren't prepared for this setback, there's nowhere for the concrete to go except onto the street.
It's a messy job, but somebody's got to do it.
As they push themselves to clear the mess, Billy's exhausted crew is reaching its breaking point.
We got 3 laborers down here that are completely exhausted right now. Is there any chance you could send down some reinforcements to help us out?
Derek is still stuck in the line of trucks, waiting anxiously to unload his batch. Meanwhile, 59 floors above, the source of the problem may have been found by the boom operator, Tony.
Patty. All right, let me know when.
Concrete travels from the pump through 8-inch wide linked sections of tubing, called slick lines, that snake up the building all the way to the top floor. When Billy made the decision to empty all the excess concrete onto the street, he thought he had cleared out the entire slick line. But not all of the concrete was drained. Somewhere in the 59 stories of tubing, a small amount of concrete is still stuck inside, and it's continuing to harden.
I'm sending down the rinse.
Now it's clogged, and they can't pump more concrete until it's cleared out. But first, they'll have to find the jam.
How we looking?
Failure means a catastrophe that could derail the entire job.
We freeze the whole job. We stop it. Concrete is first. That's the priority. Get the concrete in.
Also at risk is Derek's batch of concrete. Accelerators added to the blasted limestone and water make this concrete harden faster, which means they can pour a floor and work on top of it in the same day. But that also creates a maddening race against the clock for drivers like Derek.
There's really not much room for error because the concrete is perishable, so, that's what the 90-minute time frame is about.
Derek can keep the batch alive longer by adding more water. But it's not an easy decision. Adding too much water could dilute the mix, weakening the strength of the concrete. But at this point, it's Derek's only option.
Right now I'm stuck. I have no choice but to add water. I gotta keep the load alive.
But the slick line is still blocked up.
The most important thing is to get it cleaned out.
Without knowing the exact location of the clog, Tony is forced to clear out the entire 800-foot slick line, but it's dangerous. They start by lubricating an 8-inch wide rubber ball and placing it inside the end of the slick line. Next, they attach a compressor that will exert 2,000 pounds of pressure,
Are you ready to throw the valve?
which they hope will be enough to force the ball from one end of the slick line to the other.
The ball that came up top, that's the last thing that comes out of the concrete, then the ball. Then you know your pipe is clean when the ball comes out.
But that causes a problem of its own.
This thing lets go, it's gonna blow. It's gonna hit that building.
Meanwhile, on the 59th floor, workers are getting nervous. If they can't pour the concrete, their work grinds to a halt. Same for the electricians 2 floors below, the plumbers 4 floors below, and the rod busters, workers on the 11th floor who assemble the metal rods or rebar that will be used for the next floor to be poured. Every job on this site is interconnected, and everyone's counting on this plan to work. A blast of air sends the ball hurtling down 800 feet of tubing. But after a minute, the ball seems to have vanished, stuck somewhere in the slick line. Workers wait at the bottom impatiently, worrying that the day may be lost.
Well, cats are just gonna be in the way.
The ball suddenly reappears, but a nearby worker isn't quick enough to avoid it.
He got me! I'm good. I'm good. He got me! Good job.
Here it's quiet, the ball went through. The system is clean now. At least the wife will know what I do for a living now. You know what I mean?
With the pump back on the job, it's finally time for Derek and the other drivers lined up to unload. He has a mere 28 minutes left to get his concrete to the 59th floor, where it'll be poured and smoothed out, hopefully before the clock ticks down to 0. But there's another step before he can unload, one that could determine whether this building stands or collapses.
I'm the one that tells them a little looser, a little tighter, and so on and so forth.
Each batch of concrete needs to be delivered with the same strength and consistency to ensure the structure is sound. Before this concrete begins its journey skyward, it needs to pass the slump test.
Every driver kind of knows we're pumping slant, they know what kind of slump I'm looking for, and we go on from there.
Any variation may signal a change in the ratio of ingredients, and that could prove disastrous.
I'm always worried about it till it comes through on the other side.
Adding water to his batch may have bought Derek a few extra minutes, but it could have compromised the concrete's strength, and it could be rejected.
There really isn't such thing as an easy day.
This island has many stories to tell. Corrosion will take hold very quickly.
Get him down, get him down.
Slow down! When society breaks down, people will be desperate.
Armageddon Week begins Sunday at 8 on History. This could be the year you meet that perfect someone, the year you talk about for the rest of your life. Announcing the New Year's free communication event from eHarmony.
eHarmony matched Heidi and myself up. My first thought was, wow.
I wanted to get that next email. I wanted to get that next communication. It was so exciting.
Just fill out the eHarmony questionnaire, find out who we match you up with, and you can communicate with them for free. The New Year's free communication event this Wednesday through Sunday. Start your year off right. Visit eHarmony today and communicate with your matches absolutely free.
Boss by 30 with the fancy chair. But he's learned more with these guys in this chair than he has anywhere. For every king, a throne. For every king, a crown. Crown Royal. Please drink responsibly.
Very soon, you might rejoice. You might scream. Because very soon, you might win. It's the new $10 million 48-hour Instaprize event from Publishers Clearinghouse. Watch your mail or go to PCH.com and enter. In 48 hours, $10 million could be yours.
It's amazing how a simple switch can make life a whole lot better.
Try this. Like switching to Esurance. With our Switch and Save discount, just switch from your current car insurance carrier and you'll automatically get a discount.
Thanks, lady.
Esurance is the only insurance company that offers the Switch and Save discount. And that's on top of all the other great Esurance discounts. Once you shop at Esurance, we think you'll find that switching is a good thing. The Switch and Save discount, only from Esurance. Click or call today.
My name's Lisa. I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I smoked for 29 years. The one thing about smoking is it dominates your life, and it dominated mine. I honestly loved smoking, and I honestly didn't think I would ever quit. It was very interesting that you could smoke on the first week.
Chantix is a non-nicotine pill. In studies, 44% of Chantix users were quit during weeks 9 to 12 of treatment compared to 18% on sugar pill. It's proven to reduce the urge to smoke.
I did have an unopened pack of cigarettes in my purse and said, what the heck, I don't need these. I said, bye, I don't need you anymore. You're not my crutch, I don't need a crutch.
Talk to your doctor about Chantix and a support plan that's right for you. Some people have had changes in behavior, hostility, agitation, depressed mood, and suicidal thoughts or actions while taking or after stopping Chantix. If you notice agitation, hostility, depression, or changes in behavior, thinking, or mood that are not typical for you, or if you develop suicidal thoughts or actions, stop taking Chantix and call your doctor right away. Talk to your doctor about any history of depression or other mental health problems, which can get worse while taking Chantix. Some people can have allergic or serious skin reactions to Chantix, some of which can be life-threatening. If you notice swelling of face, mouth, throat, or a rash, stop taking Chantix and see your doctor right away. Tell your doctor which medicines you're taking, as they may work differently when you quit smoking. Chantix dosing may be different if you have kidney problems. The most common side effect is nausea. Patients also reported trouble sleeping and vivid, unusual, or strange dreams. Until you know how Chantix may affect you, use caution when driving or operating machinery. Chantix should not be taken with other quit smoking products.
With the Chantix and with the support system, it worked. It worked for me.
Talk to your doctor to find out if prescription Chantix is right for you.
At 400 Fifth Avenue, work on the 59th floor of this 5-star luxury hotel all depends on the flow of concrete.
We don't pour the concrete in time, we have a big problem.
After costly delays, the pump is finally fixed.
Good job.
The slick line is clear, and the next driver begins unloading his concrete. But Derek is still stuck behind 6 other trucks, even after adding water to keep his concrete alive. His batch still only has 28 minutes left before it hardens. High up at the top of the building, concrete pours out onto the 59th floor. And once they start pouring, they can't stop.
These trucks in the street are burning up right now. We gotta get them in and get them out of that pump as fast as possible.
To get an even floor with strong seams, pouring must be continuous. The concrete needs to be poured on top of a steel rebar foundation. This reinforcing steel grid supports the concrete and distributes the load evenly. Without it, the concrete would crumble under pressure. But there's a section missing.
Number 6 is on that bench over there.
Dave is in charge of coordinating the placement of rebar on the top floor.
All in the column.
They can't finish pouring concrete until Dave gets all the rebar in place.
Let's go, let's go. Go, give me 3 this way.
But he doesn't have enough to finish the job. The missing rebar is a big problem.
Try to imagine your body with no bones. It's like a skeleton.
With an even bigger solution. A tool 800 feet tall. Rebar is transported with the tower crane.
This is a new section for the crane. Tower.
In order to lift the missing rebar to the top floor, the crane must get even taller. To do that, the cab must be boosted with a hydraulic jacking device so that a new 20-foot section can be inserted underneath, a process called crane jumping. But yesterday, there was a problem.
Nice seat. You got about 2.5 feet.
A new section of the crane was supposed to be added so that Dave and his crew could lift the next layer of rebar. But the section didn't fit the way it should.
Something's up with that. Don't use that.
And the crew was forced to work into the night. It was a dangerous job, especially for exhausted workers who had already had a full day. And these workers knew that just 20 blocks away, a tragic crane accident occurred. On March 15th, 2008, while attempting to increase the height of the crane another 20 feet, a $50 nylon strap was severed, cutting the tie between the crane and the building. This caused the 200-foot tall steel crane to collapse across a full city block, killing 7 people and injuring dozens more. This crane is already over 800 feet tall, 4 times the height of the crane that collapsed. Workers must be extremely cautious. A mistake with concrete can cost time, money, and jobs. But a mistake on the crane can cost lives. Finally, just after midnight, the crew hammered in the last pin, securing this new section of the crane.
Shorty, baby! Welcome to America! Top of the world.
But because it took so long last night, everything's running behind schedule.
40 minutes. I have all these guys standing there. It could have been done already, but slow.
And everyone's fighting for crane time.
The crane is the guts, the heart and soul of the job. It's impossible to get material up here other than with the crane.
As the deck foreman, it's up to Gabriel to decide who gets to use the crane.
I'm waiting for the crane now, and then right after that, we should get rocking and rolling. It's a fight all day long between the steel company and the carpenters for crane time. I need the crane, bottom line. We're behind 40 minutes now because they don't want to give up the crane.
If Dave can't get the final section of rebar lifted and installed quickly, they'll have to stop pouring concrete. And he can't let that happen.
I need the crane. 40 minutes without the crane. 40 minutes. I got 40 guys standing around doing absolutely nothing.
Gabriel is forced to bring the crane to an emergency stop.
Eddie, you're gonna hold the crane, all right?
He radios the crane operator to immediately stop what he's doing.
You got the crane.
The rebar reaches the top floor,
Here it comes now. What do we got up here?
and Dave and his crew spring into action with just a few minutes to install it.
I want guys on that side and this side. 4 and 4.
They just barely get the rebar in ahead of the concrete pouring out on top.
Ryan! Let's get these heads going.
But they can't finish the floor without the last 2 truckloads of concrete still waiting on the ground level. And just minutes before every batch is unloaded, it must undergo the slump test, a quality control check for safety.
I have to coordinate with the concrete inspected what degree of wetness or tightness I'm allowed to send it up at.
If the concrete is at the wrong consistency, it will threaten the strength of the entire floor, and it could be rejected. With Derek's truck on deck, It's finally time for his watered-down batch to be tested. Workers pour a sample of concrete into a cone form, where it's stirred and allowed to settle. They then flip it over, remove the cone, and wait for it to slump.
Ready for 8-inch slump?
Finally, they measure the distance from the top of the cone to the now slumped concrete. They also measure its temperature. Hydration releases heat, so this test can help determine where this concrete is in the hardening process. The results of these two tests can accurately predict whether this concrete will stand the test of time. By adding extra water to keep his batch alive, Derek took a major risk. While the concrete's life was extended by a precious few minutes, it might have become too diluted to pass the test.
Every driver knows what kind of slump I'm looking for.
It just makes me stressed. And if the quality of the load is not that great, he can't send me away.
New men, new battles, new season. Axemen premieres Sunday, January 10th at 9 on History.
In the last year, we've learned a lot. We've learned that meatloaf and Jenga can be more fun than reservations and box seats. That who's around your TV is more important than how big it is. That cars aren't for showing how far we've come, but for taking us where we want to go. We've learned that the best things in life don't cost much, and at Allstate, they don't cost much to protect. So protect them. Put them in good hands.
Excuse me, is this the returns line? Yeah.
Didn't get the 3G coverage you wanted this season? There's a map for that. To get 5 times more 3G coverage than AT&T, hurry into the Verizon Wireless Go Red Save Green event, where you can get 50% off select 3G phones like the Moto Rival, LG 8360, or the Samsung Omnia for just $24.99. Verizon Wireless.
Getting an education isn't impossible. I was at 2 dead-end jobs. I was not happy. I didn't wake up happy. I didn't go to bed happy. I knew I had no opportunity for advancement. I knew at that position I wouldn't be able to support a family. I knew I needed to make change, and I knew I couldn't do that without an education.
He made some really good choices.
I've had my education, I've got a job with my education, and I'm happy to wake up and go to work. I'm happy to come home and see my family.
And he is doing exactly what he wants to do.
It might have been a little later than I hoped for, but I was able to complete school while working full-time, while raising a family. It's not impossible. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
We are educators helping people build a foundation for the rest of their lives. ITT Technical Institute, education for the future. Call 1-800-488-3652 or visit us on the web. Get an education that can help you reach your goals. ITT Tech has information on financial aid for those who qualify. Call 1-800-488-3652.
People want answers to questions they can't answer themselves.
Armageddon, apocalypse. What will the Earth do when I'm gone?
Go to history.com/shop and take home history's most revealing specials. What could it be?
Uh-oh. When diarrhea hits, KO. KO Pectate stops it fast. Powerful liquid relief speeds to the source fast to stop diarrhea and get your system back to normal.
Fast.
KO Pectate. Stop the fast with KO.
Dry, cracked skin? Get the quick fix. Chapped, winter skin? Get the lasting fix. New Gold Bond Anti-Itch Lotion gives fast, lasting relief with 2 proven itch fighters and healing moisturizers. Got an itch? Gold Bond Anti-Itch Lotion. The quick fix for almost every itch.
What are Optimum Rewards? For Jill, it's free movie nights with her best friend, Annie. For the Olsons, it's a family outing that's a little more affordable. For Allie and Jen, it's extra savings where they like to shop. Every day, Optimum Rewards make life more memorable. If you have all 3 Optimum services, get your free Optimum Rewards card now at OptimumRewards.com. And don't forget to smile.
Flowing through this pump is 150,000 pounds of quickly hardening concrete. On its way to becoming the 59th floor of a 5-star hotel, 700 feet above Fifth Avenue in Midtown Manhattan. There are still 2 concrete trucks left waiting on the street, each with its own 90-minute clock, quickly counting down to its final minutes. After Derek added water to keep his load alive, a sample of his concrete was taken aside for the slump test, with just 16 minutes left. But he's still waiting for the results, and he can't unload until his batch passes the test. But he's running out of time.
There's really not much room for error because, the concrete is perishable.
Meanwhile, workers on the top floor scramble to get the job done as fast as possible.
Pump, pump, pump.
But they can only move as quickly as the concrete can be poured.
Hold the pump, hold the pump, hold the pump. You said hold the pump, hold the pump.
It will take a total of 108 million pounds of concrete to build this entire hotel. 100 years ago, this amount would have taken 10 years to produce. So how's it done today? With the rotary kiln, one of the largest machines on Earth. The inside of a rotary kiln is hotter than molten lava in an exploding volcano, and it never stops going. In just 5 days, it can produce all the cement needed for the entire hotel. That's enough to cover all of Central Park. To make sure concrete is constantly flowing through the slick line, the pump operator on the ground has to stay in constant coordination with Tony, the boom operator, all the way up on the 59th floor.
Pump, pump, pump.
Once the concrete arrives upstairs, it's up to Tony to move the boom into the right spot for the concrete to be poured.
We have 3 joysticks. Each one works a different function. This is a 4-section boom.
The boom is operated by remote control and can pour over 100 pounds per second. But working with this much concrete, Tony must be careful. If it flows too fast, workers won't be able to level the floor in time. Too slow, and the concrete in Derek's truck will be too hard to pump through the boom. As the last truck in front of him pulls away, Derek moves his truck into place to begin unloading. But before he can begin, workers on the top floor must finish pouring the most recent batch.
I don't slow anything down. It all depends on manpower.
Helping the boom operator are 22 workers moving in unison to get the job done. But with so many people around these moving parts, this high above the city, there's always danger.
Yo, watch your face.
You get cut a lot of scratches. I got cut like a month ago.
The long steel rods of rebar that they're working around can easily scratch workers on a site or even impale them.
Oh yeah, you get deep cuts, a lot of scratches.
To prevent injuries and keep workers safe, this job site employs a full-time medic and multiple safety inspectors like Fiona.
In any construction site, there's danger all over. Split second, anything can happen.
And on a day like today, Heavy wind is Fiona's most serious concern.
When there's no guardrail, everyone has to be tied off.
Stefan, where's your hat, Stefan? Put that thing on.
Safety is the most important thing.
You crushed him, bro. That's why he got 3 broken toes.
All workers below the top floor are tied to thick nylon straps attached to the floor above them.
My concern basically is that one day they don't tie off, and God forbid they do happen to slip or go over.
But on the top floor, with nothing above them to connect to,
What are you clipped off to?
how are workers kept safe? The Doka, a state-of-the-art system of vertically mobile walls. Covering the top 3 floors of the building as it rises, these walls let workers move around much faster and toss their materials without fear of anything or anyone falling to the ground.
If I don't get the Doka up, Fifth Avenue is 50 stories below us right now. There's potential for something to fall off the buildings.
Right there, right there. You got it, right here, right here, right here.
Whatever it takes to get the job done.
If you look at the adjoining buildings in the vicinity, you'll see they don't use this. This added about a $2 million cost to this project.
It's still pumping. Don't stay there.
On the ground, Derek's concrete is running out of time. With just 12 minutes left, he needs to unload immediately. Finally, the results of the slump test are in.
We're looking for 18 slump, and we got an 18 slump.
Derek's batch has passed this crucial safety check, and he's able to unload. He spins the concrete drum in reverse, and his concrete begins flowing into the hydraulic pump, through the 800 feet of slick line, out of the boom, and onto the rebar frame. His entire batch will make it to the top floor in just 3 minutes. Derek's work is finally done.
Okay, mission accomplished. We got the load off. 21 leaving the job.
He passes his concrete onto the team upstairs, where it will need every minute it has left to be smoothed and leveled. Workers have to move fast on Derek's batch. It's already harder than what they're used to working with, and if it hardens unevenly, they'll have to rip up the entire floor.
Don't worry about numbers now, just make it work.
The majority of workers use handheld smoothers to level the concrete manually, but that method alone isn't fast enough, and it can't always get rid of bumps and air bubbles if the concrete is already starting to set like it is today. So how do they do it? By using a machine called the gyrator, which pulses through the concrete at 12,000 vibrations per minute. Without the heavy vibration, pockets of air would be trapped inside the hardened concrete, creating a honeycomb effect that would weaken the structure.
If you have holes in the concrete when they strip it, you may not pass an inspection.
Once it's compacted, they can begin leveling and making final preparations for the flooring to be installed. But suddenly, with just 9 minutes left before Derek's concrete hardens, there's another problem.
You're breaking up. We're gonna need about a load and a half to complete the pour.
When Billy made the decision to clear the slick line earlier today, he dumped thousands of pounds of concrete onto the street. Now, with just a few cubic yards left to pour, they've run out. This unexpected delay could ruin everything these workers have accomplished today.
Waiting for concrete truck to back into the pump.
If Derek's concrete hardens before the concrete directly next to it is poured, the batches won't fuse together properly, a condition known as cold joints.
If we get a cold joint on this type of deck, this deck will be rejected.
This could threaten the entire floor's structural integrity.
We may have to put a cold joint in, get the engineers here and design all sorts of doweling.
And with only minutes left before Derek's concrete becomes completely solid, workers are doing everything they can to keep it alive.
It could back the whole job up.
Wake up to a world at your fingertips, where anytime messaging, internet, and maps let you work smarter. Where exciting multimedia is just a touch away. where you can easily download fun applications. All on a brilliant AMOLED screen. The new Omnia 2, the window to your world.
2 straws is the vodka, the parasol is the rum, and the angelica, juniper, coriander, and other select ingredients, culminating in a taste everyone can describe but no one can identify, is the Tanqueray.
Tanqueray Gin. Resist simple. Drink responsibly.
He hates asking for directions.
Okay, we're gonna turn right.
Turn left ahead.
I mean left.
But GPS changed our lives. Even my husband can get us where we're going. TurboTax does the same thing for our taxes. Its unique GPS feature guides us through every step, answers tough questions in simple language, and even lets you talk to a tax expert, helping us know it's done right. And getting us to our maximum refund. Guaranteed.
Try TurboTax online now. You don't pay unless you're satisfied with the results.
It's amazing how a simple switch can make life a whole lot better. Try this. Like switching to Esurance. With our Switch and Save discount, just switch from your current car insurance carrier and you'll automatically get a discount.
Thanks, lady.
Esurance is the only insurance company that offers the Switch and Save discount. And that's on top of all the other great Esurance discounts. Once you shop at Esurance, we think you'll find that switching is a good thing. The Switch and Save discount, only from Esurance. Click or call today.
As small businesses are busy reinventing the economy, small business owners have a lot of questions.
Can paperless billing get me paid faster?
How can I keep my best employees?
How can I bring down my insurance costs?
And while at American Express Open, we may not have all the answers, we know who does. Other owners. That's why we're helping business owners connect. Together, we're building a community for them to talk, share, and help each other. A place called openforum.com, where owners can swap ideas and ask questions.
Will tweeting get me more customers?
How can I make my business green?
And one question seems especially popular.
How can I get paid faster? How can I get paid faster?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
And they're inspiring ideas like AcceptPay, a new tool from Open that lets owners invoice digitally and helps them get paid faster. Ask a question, find an answer. Join the conversation at openforum.com.
Is it the fact that our vehicles have the highest expected resale value of any luxury brand that makes them so impressive? Or is it the fact that we have the only full line of 5-star safety rated sedans? Or is it both? Test drive any Acura at the Drive Home Safely for the Holidays event.
Take advantage of attractive lease rates on the 2010 Acura TSX for well-qualified customers.
I'm Mike Wolf. And I'm Frank Fretz. And we're pickers.
You're like, I'm gonna head over to the antique shop with my lady and check out what they got. You walk in and you're like, I gotta have that. You walk over, you grab it. Well, who brought that there? How'd that get there? It was a picker.
American Pickers premieres Monday, January 18th at 9 on History, made every day.
It's kind of like the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Madhouse, a new series, premieres Sunday, January 10th at 10 on History, made every day.
"700 feet above Midtown Manhattan, a crew of 350 is hard at work constructing this 60-story, 5-star hotel.
Time is of the essence of getting these buildings up.
80 minutes into its 90-minute clock, Derek's batch of concrete was poured onto the 59th floor.
Coming up, keep coming up.
But it wasn't enough.
I think it's the hottest day of the year. This has to happen.
When the pump broke down earlier today, Billy was forced to dump an entire batch of concrete out onto the street. Now, with just a few cubic yards left to pour, Tony and the deck crew are out of concrete. If Derek's concrete hardens before another batch is poured next to it, the two batches won't fuse together properly and will create a cold joint.
If we get a cold joint, this deck will be rejected. It creates a big impact.
If that happens, they'll have to rip up the entire floor, and they have just 8 minutes left before it hardens.
We're gonna need about a load and a half to complete the pour.
Billy calls dispatch for a new batch of concrete.
Copy that.
But he can't wait for it to come all the way from Queens. Dispatch locates a driver just 12 blocks away
Stand by.
and reroutes him to Billy's job site.
I want to send you somewhere else.
And now it's all up to this truck's driver, Iggy.
Everything gotta move fast.
Iggy changes course and heads for the job site, suddenly forced to meet a near impossible deadline.
You can be up, down, all over the place. Never be in the same place. You gotta prepare yourself for everything. Very good. Good job.
Meanwhile, the crew on the 59th floor is doing everything it can to keep the concrete alive. They've already added water to the concrete, but they can't add any more, or they'll compromise its strength. To keep the batch alive, they'll use the helicopter. The helicopter is a machine that employs a giant spinning fan that is able to smooth the floor while keeping the concrete moving at the same time. The gyrator is also put to use again, and these two machines working together can prevent the concrete from setting too early. But even with the helicopter and the gyrator, they can't hold out much longer.
34 on the job.
1040. Right away. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
With no time to spare, Iggy arrives and immediately begins unloading his concrete. But the crew has less than 2 minutes left to pour the floor's last batch. And it'll take everyone working together to finish in time.
All right, bring it up, bring it up. And when you're ready, pump, pump. Let's go, big ball. Let's go, let's go. Let's go. Hold on. Let's go, tie it up. Teamwork, baby. Spike this all out, clean it up, level it off. Okay, let me know when this is ready. This is good.
With seconds left, the concrete's down, but it could all be undone if the surveyors don't approve it.
Good.
These workers finish the job with just seconds to spare. The day is a complete success.
They've been bent over all day. I'm out of here.
The 59th floor is done and has passed a rigorous safety inspection. But the crew can't rest. In 1 hour, the concrete will be hard enough to walk on. And in 2, supports will be going up for the next floor, which will be poured in 2 days.
That's it, now it's a wrap.
By the time construction on this building is complete, this crew of 350 men and women will have completed the pouring process 60 times for over 108 million pounds of concrete in almost 2,000 batches.
Yeah, baby!
And in cities across the globe, buildings grow to towering heights thanks to the hard work and speed of crews like this one. Every day, beating the 90-minute deadline set by their most basic material, concrete.
Finally flabbergasted when we creamed the $700 cream. For under $30, Olay Regenerist Microsculpting Cream, according to a European independent study, hydrates better and longer than 32 of the world's most expensive creams. Fantastic. Phenomenal. Olay Regenerist. Love the skin you're in. For hundreds and hundreds less.
Every year, millions of Americans face disaster. That's why we created the Tide Loads of Hope program.